Good evening. Let me get rid of that and then I can stop hiding. How the devil are you all? Welcome along. It's the prediction show. I tell you what I'm going to predict. This may shock you. I'm going to predict that that Leicester might lose.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right, cheers. I tell you what, whichever of my kitchen, if fucking out of my will, I'll tell you, keep calm. I don't know what you mean. Oh, I've loved it today, and I've got to be honest with you, one of my guests, I did see him retweet it, so I had to do it. But apparently the news today is that Leicester City have refunded and stopped all birthday announcements. Zach Rogers and Brendan out. I'd love that to be true. I'd love it. I just love it. I haven't got it handy, otherwise I would do. Oh, where he was in the green room, but it has disappeared. But anyway, I've got it here.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
Yes. News. Oh, he's back. Thank God for that. I have got some breaking news that Brendan will be bringing an autobiography out at the end of this season. You know, he's doing it. It is apparently just getting its final reading, but I have got the cover for it available. So this is going to be the cover for Brendan Rodgers' autobiography out at the end of the season. Indeed. Coaching soccer for dummies. I tell you what. Whether it should be coaching soccer by dummies, I don't know. But you get what I'm getting at, don't you? Oh, you're going to buy a copy, Brad?
No, because I know how to do it better than that. So, and it's football. So he's even got that wrong, hasn't he?
Well, no, the reason that it's football is because somebody had already done a cover that was coaching football, and it was American footballers on the cover.
Oh, well, you know, maybe Ted Lasso'd it. We don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought somebody will point that out, and I didn't expect it would be my own co-host that would.
Well, someone's got to do the job, mate.
We'll bring him in. It can't be Steve Lynex. We have come in a bit early today because well, I was supposed to be doing the England game yesterday, but I've been in bed for 3 or 4 days. My God, she was a good woman. I've only been sort of feeling myself today, which I've had to because she's gone. But coming in and standing in for you can see he's got a look of the Steve Lynex about him. Jack, how the devil are you, sir?
I'm all right, both. How are you?
Well, maybe if I supported Nottingham Forest, maybe. Maybe
Well,
no. I wouldn't really feel any better, would I?
I don't think so.
Not at the moment. Anthony is in. Big up, Chris. If it meant you losing this game for Brendan to get the sack, you want Leicester to lose. I think you asked me that the other week, or somebody did. And I'll go first. No, I never want anybody. I never want my team to lose because, even when it was Puel, even when it was McClintock, that's how far back I go. I don't want them to lose just to sack a manager. Brad, would you?
no, I want my team to win and do well every week. So,
And Jack, would you be the same?
Well, not really. You want your team to win the game, don't you? And try their best. That's what you want as a football fan. You don't want to see your team lose just for Rodgers to get the sack. It's about the football club and the future of the football club. It's not about Brendan Rodgers' back pocket. It's about how we finish in the season, with or without him.
It is. I don't know if anybody read my piece. Every Tuesday, the Tuesday Talking Point, I write for the BBC web page on Leicester City. And I came back and I actually, having written it and sent it off, I thought, I shouldn't really be saying that. So I emailed them and said, could you take this sentence out, please? And they went, yeah, we already have done. So if you haven't read it yet, I think my first line is, Brendan Rodgers, please get out of my club. So he went kind of downhill from there. Andrew Brent says is in. Good evening, Brand. Oh my God, I can't talk. I'll have another swig of gin. I wish. Brendan lost last weeks ago, and he's still here. Yes, he is. There's a stream tonight, Anthony, for Brad. Top 10 battles, is it called, Brad? Yeah. Top 10 battles, and the link's below, and we are doing it allegedly on superheroes. Jack is on the final whistle, and his link to his YouTube page is down below as well. Make sure you give both those channels a subscribe. Right, if you remember last week, somebody here was very, how can I put it? They were gloating, shall we say, because they'd had a good week. And it wasn't Steve Lynex.
It's never Steve Lynex.
It never is. But I just want to say, look at that. 11 points there, 2 spot on. I only got 3 games completely wrong. That's my best week ever, so I've just got to show that. Oh, and Jack, I forgot to mention, by the way, because you're standing in for Steve Lynex, whoever Tottenham are playing and whoever Arsenal are playing, you've got to go that they will lose.
Okay.
That's part of the deal, because he can't stand those 2 clubs, even after last week. That's how it's got to be. But Andrew, it's a good question that. On Friday at 9 o'clock, we are doing the normal question time, and that is the lead question that we are starting with. So about Casper. So tune in on this channel at 9 o'clock. Right, let's get it underway, because we've got a lot to get through this week, because we've got only these matches, but all of Amazon's next week as well. So here we go. We start off with on the Friday night on telly, Brentford hosting Brighton. I mean, Brighton, wow. I mean, all right, they're down in 7th, but what a start they've had. But they've lost the manager. But, even though they lost to Tottenham, it was only 1-0. Brentford struggling a little bit, but I'd take 11th at the moment. How do you see this one going, Jack?
Brentford have kind of struggled, haven't they? They got slapped up by Newcastle 5-1 at St James's. I guess that one's going to hurt them real bad. They're going to feel like a wounded animal. Brighton have had a fantastic season with Graham Potter and without him so far. The new manager's going to have his big step-in mark, isn't he, on that team? Trossard is performing outstandingly. I feel that Brighton's going to win this one. I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton, Chris.
Wow. Okay. Brad, do you think the loss of Potter is going to see a downfall for Brighton?
I
Will
think
they lose a bit of their magic? Come
Yeah.
on. Come on.
Oh dear. I try and ignore him when he does these sort of jokes. But I mean, I think the momentum he left them with is going to help them. You saw that performance against Liverpool. They've obviously had some really sad news about 24-year-old Mwepu, who has been forced to retire. So the team's got to rally around that and keep the momentum going. I think I understand that Brentford just took a beating, and I think they'll want to be very hard to beat. I think they'll put a defence up, and I don't know how much longer he'll allow the old Graham Potter feel to go in before he demands to change the way that he wants Brighton to go about their business. So I'm actually going to go for a bit of a dull game for both of them because whilst it was only 1-0 against Spurs, Brighton really struggled to offer anything. And I know Spurs, Brentford, a bit of a difference, but I'm going to go for the first ball draw of the 2 weeks, and I'm going to go for 0-0.
You're going to go for 0-0, right? Had Potter still been there, for me it would have been nailed on for a Brighton win because I know I've not been his biggest fan, but he's turned things round at Brighton. He was getting them in the right direction, as we could see. I'm going to have to agree with you, Brad, but not on the score. I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think it'll be a Desmond, but I think it'll be a 1-1. And Andrew has gone 2-1 to Brighton. So, do I think Brighton can do it? You know what? I'm going to agree with Andrew. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I should stick with my first thought, shouldn't I?
Yeah, see if it ends 1-1 now. I'm going to well smug talk about it.
Yeah, just my luck. Just my luck. Well, let's get it out of the way early, guys. Leicester City host Crystal Palace on Saturday morning. I can't believe he's still here. I can't believe there are still people out there. I love those two parody accounts, Jack. They're just like... when it comes down to it, no matter how bad your team is doing, football humour always finds a way through. We don't need to talk about Leicester. We know how shit they are. But Palace, they're having a mixed start. They're in 15th place. They've only won 2, but they did win last time out against Leeds, who have dropped down the table quite a lot. And they say we've won 2, drawn 3. How do you see this one going?
Leicester season, well, it's been shocking, hasn't it? Despite the Nottingham Forest result, it shut Door on Tour up a bit until they drew to Aston Villa, went back on top of us again. But yeah, this one. See, this is the game where Zaha could turn up, the Eze's, the Elises, the Edwards, because they know how vulnerable Leicester are at the back. We're a side who let it slip in the second half after leading the game. But they'll look to keep that going for Leicester at the weekend. I can't see it being a easy game for Palace. I think it'd be difficult for Leicester, though, to keep out them sort of players. I want to say a win, but the way Brendan Rodgers is playing at the minute and the way things are, I can only see a draw, Chris. So I'm going to go 1-1.
Oh, you got us. Is that with an own goal by Vestergaard thrown in for good measure?
Might come off Johnny Evans this time. Who knows?
At least he got a goal to his name. It was in the wrong end.
7-0 defeat.
It's probably the most expensive player to ever play in the under-19s. I mean, I don't know. Cheer me up, Brad. Tell me something I want to hear, please.
The match is going to get postponed. Crystal Palace are going to get docked 50 points along with Forest for a punch up in their game, and we're going to get awarded a 4-0 win by the referee for being the better side. Does that help cheer you up if I tell you a load of lies? Just on
that's going a little bit too extreme, isn't it?
Well, it's the only way I can see it.
You were doing all right until the 4 points awarded because, the referee liked us.
I know, I've run out of reasons why we'd actually win a game of football these days. It's horrible. It's horrible, horrible feeling. I've got this horrible feeling that Palace are going to stop us 4-0. But I'm going to do a Steve Linex. I'm getting it out there that I've said 4-0 Palace or something like that, but I'm going to do a Steve Linex. I can't go against my club. And I'm going to hope and pray and cross my fingers and toes. And I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
That is being optimistic.
Delusional, I think.
Yeah, well, trying to be nice to you. I mean, I did that last season. The season before, when we did the prediction league with the Foxes, ex-Foxes, sorry. I always went, we're going to win. And of course, we did that season. And then last season, I went the same, and we didn't. And I came bottom of the league. The most time I've only got 2 points, and one of them was because I predicted us to lose one of them. So I've got to decide what's more important here: supporting my team or getting more points in the prediction league. I think Palace are a bit of a bogey side to us anyway. You know what? I don't mind. I don't mind getting it wrong. And if I don't get any points, but I actually get it wrong, I'm going to go 2-1 to Palace, I'm afraid. Because you just know Edouard's going to score against us as well.
Yeah, like his third goal since his £1 million move himself.
Exactly. If anybody needs to break a record, come and play Leicester. We're here. Anthony's gone Palace 2-0. Andrew's gone 3-0 Palace. Terry, good evening, Terry. How are you? He's gone 4-1 to Palace. Even the Leicester fans are giving up on us, and the Forest fans. What can I say? 3-0 Palace. Not far off. Oh dear. Yeah, if we didn't laugh, we would probably jump out the window, wouldn't we? Fulham are hosting Bournemouth in the battle of the promotion teams. Let's have a look. Bournemouth, well, we all know about Bournemouth, don't we? I mean, when you've got a manager that is being hailed as one of the best coaches out there, and yet he gets out-coached by somebody who's never been a manager before and has only been a caretaker manager for 4 games, that, guys, if he's not signed up by Bournemouth, something is totally wrong. They let 9 in one game, and they've still conceded less than we have. Up to 8th, won 3, drawn 3, lost 3 for Bournemouth. And then Fulham are 9th. Now, I know it's a marathon, not a sprint, but they've lost their last 2, Fulham. They lost to Newcastle 4-1 and 3-1 to West Ham. Is this going to be another 3 points for the South Coast side?
I'm not sure. Fulham were doing
can I just say, Tripe, you're welcome. I've not seen you before, but if you've gone 11-0 to Leicester, I get where you got the first part of your name from. Sorry, Jack.
Fulham had a great start to the season. Then they lost to Newcastle. They've obviously lost to West Ham, haven't they? 3-1, like you said. Yeah. That might knock their confidence now, to be honest with. Is Mitrovic injured? Is that right?
I think so, but I won't swear by it.
Right, okay. We'll just pretend Mitrovic is going to be in this weekend then. Then we can move over to Bournemouth, a side who lost Scott Parker to manager, and then Gary O'Neill's took over, and he's done a fantastic job. They're unbeaten in 5 Premier League games now, having beaten the Foxes at the weekend 2-1. There's a lot of confidence about Bournemouth now, the way they play and the way they're adapting to the league now. They're a side who you'd say would have been favourites for relegation at the start of the season. So I think Bournemouth could run away with this one at Craven Cottage. So I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth, Chris.
You're going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth. Brad?
I think if this was a Bournemouth, I'd be straight up agreeing with Jack. No argument. I mean, he's undefeated since he's taken the reign. You talk about the Brendan Rodgers birthday, refunds going there because of the funny names. I think it's hilarious that Liverpool were given the charitable 9-0 by Bournemouth because it clearly took pity on them, and now they're ahead of them in the league. That's funny for you. That's top quality football banter from a club that's just come up. Lose 9-0 and still be above them a few weeks later. Dependent on Mitrovic, I don't think it matters in this game. Fulham need to respond to what you consider two heavy defeats. I think Bournemouth have got a lot of character, and I didn't go for it in the first game, but I'm going to go for it here. I'm going to declare it the first one of the game. I'm going to go for a Desmond, and I'm going to go 2-2. I think this will be a good game to watch for the neutrals.
2-2. Brilliant. Now, I'm not going to show any sort of South Coast bias here.
Yes, he is.
you know, because there was a but coming there, don't you?
Yeah,
it's not biased because I just think that Bournemouth showed what they can do. And, they'd gone 1-0 down, didn't have a particularly brilliant first half, came back out in the second half. The rest, as they say, we don't talk about. So I'm actually going to go 3-1 to Bournemouth. So that is a little bit of bias, I guess. Oh, apparently he is injured, apparently.
He is, okay. That's a big miss then.
Yeah, Andrew said 2-2. Highfield's in. Good evening, Highfield. Anthony says, Chris, get 11 men stood on the goal line for 95 minutes. You get a 0-0 draw and a point earned well for that hard work. Yeah, I remember you used to do that a lot under George Graham, didn't you? Yeah, that was how it was. You used to play 9 in defence and Charlie George up front. Yeah. Those are the days when you used to be known as the 1-0 to the Arsenal. That was your full name.
Anthony wouldn't know that. He was too busy supporting Bristol City at that point.
Or Southampton, possibly.
Yeah. Or Crew. They play in red, don't they?
Yes, they do. Talking about teams that play in red, I'm sure we'll have some bias here. Wolverhampton hosting Nottingham Forest. Steve Cooper, quite rightly, I think, being given an extension to his contract. I mean, I don't know when it was due to run out. Doesn't mean a thing, I guess, really, at the end of the day. But both these teams, well, it's a relegation zone battle. Wolves have lost 3 in a trot, Jack. Having beaten Southampton 1-0, they lost to Man City 3-0. Okay, fair enough. West Ham 2-0 and Chelsea 3-0. So there are some difficult games. Forest obviously lost to Manchester City 6-0. They lost to Bournemouth 3-2. Lost to Fulham 3-2. Lost to Leicester 4-0. And they drew with Aston Villa on the Monday night. Sorry, that came out a bit louder than it was meant to.
That was just for Dortway down the road.
Jack, which way do you see this going?
It's a relegation battle, like you said. Wolves, who wouldn't really want to be in that position. Bruno Lage, could have been sacked way before they sacked him. Forest, on the other hand, absolutely poor against Aston Villa. I thought, these 23 players, what they brought in, haven't really clicked, have they? They've not gelled enough as what Forest fans would have wanted them to quick enough. Steve Cooper's got a 5-year contract. Is that to say that the owner's thinking, what, if we go down, he'll get us straight back up? Is that the motivation he's having? So it's going to be a tough one at Molineux. Obviously, they've not got a new manager yet, have they, Wolves? The Sporting Lisbon managers just turned them down. So they're still on the look for a manager. They might have Brendan Rodgers if Rodgers leaves this weekend. So,
please, Wolves. Yeah, we'll pay for the taxi.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wolves win.
2-1 Wolves win. Brad, I already know what I'm going to go on this one, but are you going to convince me to change my mind?
Probably not, mate. Some little known facts. What you say about Nottingham Forest, they've also sacked their hiring, their recruitment staff. So that tells you where they truly believe the problem was in their team at the moment. But I think Wolves have scored 3 goals all season, and they have yet to score in the second half. So I think you know where I'm going with this. Wolves haven't scored many goals. It's Nottingham Forest who bored us to death with Villa. So I'm clearly going to go for Wolves to absolutely thrash Forest 4-0. Come on, the Wolves.
Really?
Yeah, why not? It's just because it's Forest. It's probably going to be 0-0. I regret everything I say, but just because it's Forest and just because he's in the chat, I'm going to go. And I'm stopping at my dad's and he's a Wolves fan, so I don't want to sleep outside tonight. So come on, Wolves. Just
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I'll give you that. As good a reason as any. I'm going to go with the proverbial last game on Match of the Day, 0-0 ball draw.
You know what? I actually hope you're right just for that, because that's what I really want it to be, given our situation. I should go for it more.
Only because they helped me out with the draw last week. I predicted. Now, Spurs Everton. Do explain what you would do if this was you, Jack. But I am going to have to go. And when he's not here, I didn't get everybody else's thoughts on this. I'm going to put this out there, then everybody can remember this. Anthony.
Right, ban him.
I'm tempted to put him on a timeout. It's not going to lie. Terry, Chris, you would know better than most. Is it true Bournemouth has loads of boarded up shops and is dying? Tell me a town centre that isn't, mate. Tell me a town centre that isn't. 5-0 Wolves, says Andrew. Ren is in. Good evening, Renee. Hi, Chris, Brad and Jack. How are you all, mate, in the chats? Wolves 1, Forest 2, said True Red. Obviously, he's been drinking. Leicester fans in. Rennie's gone 1-1 or 0-0. Anthony says Wolves win 2-0. He's allowed back in now.
Yeah, unban
now 2-0 to Wolves. And yeah, this isn't an Ajax game, Rennie, so we're not covering that. So Tottenham Everton. When he's not in, what I'm going to do is I'm always going to go for the away team or the opposite team 1-0. But please feel free to tell us what you think you would go for.
See, this one could be a tricky game for Spurs. Harry Kane, he loves a goal, doesn't he? He scored quite a few penalties. He's a top English striker. Everton, they're on a bit of form just before they lost to Ronaldo's Man United. So that might dampen the mood for them. If it was me, I'd go for a Spurs home win. But obviously, if it's Steve Lynex, he'd go for an Everton win, wouldn't he? So which one do you want me to go for, Chris?
Well, I've got it there. I've gone for the Everton win, but just so that people, if they are watching this, know that is Steve rather than yourself, mate. Brad, I mean, Tottenham, they're blowing hot and cold this season. I thought they were going to, really go. Say blowing hot and cold, they're actually sat there in third place. But Everton are in 12th, which is nosebleed territory for them. How do you see this one working out?
See, I don't have an agenda like Steve, so I can go for the obvious choice. I don't rate Frank Lampard as a Premier League standard manager. My stance on ex-players jumping straight into high-end jobs.
Second sentence in. I didn't think you'd get... I thought it would be your first sentence in.
Well, yeah. I know. Sometimes I like to keep people on the toes when I'm going to slate Frank Lampard being a Premier League manager. No, my stance on it. I prefer them to work their way up and earn it. I know he spent time in the Championship, but not enough for me. And Spurs look good. I mean, they grounded out against Brighton, who are free scoring at the moment. They're scoring fives, they're scoring threes, and they kept them to nothing, restricted them. I think you're going to have to do that against Everton. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Tottenham win. I think it's going to have to squeeze another victory out, but they're more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's at Tottenham, so I'm going to go 3-0 Tottenham.
You always have to show off, don't you?
That's why you go first, mate, before me. Anthony says Everton due a win, so I'm going 2-1, 3-1 to Spurs, says Andrew. And the True Red says, unfortunately for your disgust, Chris, I'm not a drinker. I thought everybody in Nottingham was a drinker. Otherwise, what would you want to live in Nottingham for? You couldn't be sober and live in Nottingham and support Nottingham Forest, could you? Banter, true. Banter, you know that. Villa, Chelsea. Villa got a point against Tottenham the other night. I didn't see the game. But they sat up in 16th, 1-2, drawn 3, lost 4. And you've got up against the Chelsea side that have been spluttering, but again, still managed to sit in 4th place with 4 wins in the last 5. It's only going to go one way, this, isn't it?
Yeah, Villa look poor under Steven Gerrard. Villa fans want Gerrard out. Yeah, they didn't look great against Nottingham Forest. There'd been a game that Villa fans would say they'd go and win that on Monday night at the City Ground. But Chelsea beat Villa's rivals in Wolves at the weekend. So Graham Potter's made his stance on this team now, hasn't he? I think it'll go one way, Chris, at the weekend. I'm going 3-0 Chelsea.
Okay. Wow. Brad?
I mean, Steven Gerrard, same thing as Lampard, so we don't have to discuss that. Villa are probably the second most boring team to watch behind Wolves because Wolves can't score goals. And I can only see another comfortable, easy win for Chelsea. I'm going to go for Chelsea to beat Villa, the same scoreline as Wolves. I'm going 3-0. I'm going the same as Jack.
3. Now, you know what I'm going to go for, don't you?
A result.
Yes. I'm going to go 4-0 to Chelsea.
I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to say it in case he said no.
Well, now I've got to be different to try and get some points. I just say True Red says I'm a git. Sorry, mate. You come in, I can't resist it. You do the same to me, and it is all banter, mate. And he went 2-0 Spurs Everton. He's gone 3-0 to Chelsea. Leeds United Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal. Wow. There's trouble. There's trouble in the red side of Merseyside. I'm sure there's an Arsenal fan somewhere that is still saying, yeah, but Arteta is not all that, you know. But bloody hell, swapping for Rodgers. What are you going to go with this one, Jack?
I know what Steve's going to go for. He's going to go for a Leeds United home win, isn't he?
He is, unfortunately.
If it was me, I think Arsenal's going to absolutely batter them at the weekend. They're top for a reason. They've played well. They beat Liverpool, who are really struggling at the minute. I think Liverpool are in 10th, aren't they? So Arsenal have been on some right form. I was talking to Arsenal fans last season that they wanted Arteta out. I said, you know what? Back your manager, get behind him, and he'll change things around. He's obviously done that since the start of last season when they was losing teams like Brentford and that. So, yeah, they're on a good run of form. I believe they've got Manchester City soon, so that'll be a real test if they are real title contenders. So, if it were me, I'd go for a 3-0 Arsenal win at Ellen Road.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Brad, I mean, he's not been given time by a lot of fans. At least we've given Rodgers time, but he's just not doing an amazing job there this season. I mean, I have them finishing 4th, but I think they could be there at the end of the season.
Do you know what? Some Arsenal fans must be a right riot at fucking birthday parties. No, seriously, like, because Arsenal fans last year were like, well, yeah, all right, we've got into Europe, but it means nothing. We're in the top four. I'm not going to back Arteta to the chances for title. You're literally the only team left in the title race 9 games in, and it means nothing after 9 games. That makes me boring, sad. I'm in agreement with Jack. I think Arsenal are going to run right here. I don't like Ted Lasso in his soccer sports, and he tries to play here. He had some weird excuse for not winning the last game. I can't remember it because it just baffled me hearing it, but it was really it was that strange. Even I didn't understand it, and that's it. I'm actually going crazy on this scoreline. I think I actually got a prediction right, predicting stuff like this. So I'm going to stick to it. I'm going Leeds United 0, Arsenal 5.
So 4 or 5?
5.
5.
And they've got Leicester after.
Yeah. Just
They'll probably be
to
managers after that. Hopefully, they'll have no manager.
This is just because you want to see if I'll go 6-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, go on. I shouldn't have done that because the last time I did that, you went 6-0 Man City against Notts Forest, and you got the score right.
I did. Yeah, I mean, Leeds had a good start. I predicted Leeds to be bottom, in fairness, and that they weren't. They're not, obviously, but the wheels have come off that wagon a little bit, and they're down there in 14th. They've not won in 5, and it's Arsenal, and Arsenal just look. Well, we've seen how Arsenal look, haven't we? When they've made some good signings. Again, Arsenal fans moaning about they weren't making the signings they wanted. Come to support bloody Leicester then. You got some great signings. So I can see them. I think it's that they're more Man City this season. I'm actually going to go 4-0 to Arsenal.
Oh, he's changed his tactic. He's not got one more, he's got one less. We're doing like right idiots when Leeds win this game too.
Yeah, we are. Arsenal to win 3-0, says the Arsenal fan. Said the Arsenal fan Anthony. 2-1 to Leeds, said Andrew. Hayden's in. Hello. He's gone for a Leicester loss as well. This is Leicester fans, I'm going for surprise of the week. Leeds 3, Arsenal 2. Whoa. Leeds 0, Manchester City 6. So
he's in the future. He's seeing things we're not, Hayden. I want your lottery numbers.
Someone's on FIFA.
Yeah. I haven't got that one. A Manchester City, I know they've got a lot of players. Are they putting 2 teams out?
It's the reserves.
Like pre-season when you've got the teams playing in 2 places. I take it back, True. It's not you that's been drinking, it's Hayden. Anthony, after doing well, you've got to give him credit. But if he finishes second and wins the Europa League, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong.
Finishes second and wins Europa League. Fucking not for wanting. Look, jolly Arsenal fans. You only finished 82 seasons ago. Jesus.
I know. So just finishing second is not good enough for you. Is that what you're saying?
Jesus Christ.
Some of these guys are stuck in the early Arsenal days, aren't they? Or is it Arsenal or Arsenal? I don't know which one you call them sometimes.
Well, let's be honest with you. It was the old... the George Graham 1-0 to the Arsenal. Man United, Newcastle United. Jack, this is a difficult one.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one. Newcastle are in the top 10, playing some very good football. Under Eddie Howe, he's changed it since Brucey was manager. So he's come in and made a massive impact there. They've brought in the right players that they need to. Newcastle, St. Maximan, he'll get to form again. Almiron's having a great season, scoring all these goals. So is Gamirez. So Man United, Ronaldo got his 700th league goal the other day against Everton. So that's a massive achievement for a GOAT like Ronaldo. So I think this one will go one way at Old Trafford. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man United win, Chris.
Wow. Brad, which side, which United are you going for?
Newcastle have been so impressive. I mean, they seem to be merciless when they it almost reminds us of Leicester over a few seasons ago when we were beating teams 3-0, 4-1 and whatnot. Not this season, certainly, because we're lost in space in a different dimension. But it's at Old Trafford, and we've just gone from one fan base that's never happy. We moved on to another one with Manchester United. 700 goals, not bad for a slave football, is it? Really? I'm sure his pay packet made him do that daft celebration that he did. But I can see it's been a good game. But I honestly can see Man United fans having a miserable moan after this game because it'll be Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 3.
Whoa. Oh, right. A goal fest. I'm first on match of the day.
Yeah.
Newcastle are up in 6. They've won 3, drawn 5, but they've only lost once this season. Jesus. And they're on a +8 goal difference. And they've won their last 2. Like we said earlier, 5-1 past Brentford, 4-1 past Fulham. So they know where the net is. But in fairness, Man United have only lost 1 in the last 5. They had a dodgy start, but in the last 5, they beat Southampton, some team from the Midlands, Arsenal, and Everton last week. If this was at Newcastle, I would be going for Newcastle. But because it's at Old Trafford, I am going to go 1-1. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Half a Desmond. Southampton, West Ham, Jack. Sorry, can I just say, Andrew, I didn't read it out because I've really, you are just, you deserve any splinters you get up your arse. 1-0 United. Yeah, great. That's one way of making sure you get the prediction right, isn't it? Oh dear. Anthony's just woken up. He's gone a 2-0 win to Chelsea. That was about 3 games ago, wasn't it? Newcastle 1-1. And Southampton, that was 2. I'm not even going to bring that one back up. That was just like, that's this one. So I won't be doing that until afterwards anyway. West Ham, poor start. Couldn't have a go at us. Again, some of the fans wanted Moyes out. Then he turned it round and doing well in Europe, and also sat there in 13th. Won the last 2, which last week was a 3-1 win over Fulham, and before that a 2-0 win over Wolves. But that did follow. They lost to Everton. I don't know how they managed that. But they did lose to Chelsea. And they're up against, who are they playing? I've lost the will to live. Southampton, who again had a good start, but they're now in their usual 17th place. Southampton have lost the last 4, Jack, to Wolves, to Aston Villa, to Everton, and to Manchester City. Although they did only let 4 in against Manchester City. But this is going to go one way, isn't it?
It's a manager who's on the brink of the sack. Another one, Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's got a really less win percentage, and Southampton fans want him out. So they reported they were on the brink of the sack before the Man City game. They got battered against Man City 4-0. Could have been about 7 or 8. But I guess, they've kept him, haven't they? Like Leicester's kept Brendan. So there's some faith in there somewhere from the ownership. So West Ham, like you say, is it Skamaka, is it? He's on some right form in Europe and in the Premier League at the minute. Jared Bowen's just found the goals now. So I think it's going to be more misery for Saints, Chris. I'm going 2-0 West Ham.
2-0 West Ham. They've got new owners, I think, haven't they, Southampton, Brad? But I mean, we said, back end of last season, start of this season, we'd take Ralph if he left. Would we still?
No. They're kind of this year's Burnley, aren't they? Which is never a good thing to hear if you support a club. If someone says you're the new Burnley, even Burnley fans don't like being the new Burnley. But
in fairness to Burnley, they did beat Coventry for us last week.
Well, yeah, that's one positive they can have on their record, isn't it? But Southampton, for me, they've now become one of them teams where you just look at and you kind of think you need to fuck off and get relegated and sort your life out a little bit, because it's depressing seeing predicting you 16th, 17th every season is becoming the norm. But I think again they'll frustrate the Premier League and stay up. But West Ham have just started to click, and I think they'll continue that here. I was going to go 2-0, but just to be a little bit different from Jack, otherwise I think I'm copying his own work. I'm going to go West Ham will win it 2-1.
2-1. Wow.
Yeah, it's like copying Wikipedia and changing a few words. That's all I've done.
I'm allowed to. I contribute to them. West. I use them that much. West Ham. To me, they are gonna walk this. I can see it being. I've got to agree with you, Jack. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. Liverpool, Man City. Just as we say Liverpool, Man City, Doug's in. Southampton to win 2-1, says Anthony. 2-1 West Spam, says Andrew. Doug's just in. I'm all right, Doug. How are you? Just about to talk about your team. And people want Klopp out. People are saying Klopp's reached his zenith. He's already saying title's over. They've won 2, drawn 4, lost 2. They lost last time out to Arsenal. And they've not won the last four games, but they did beat Newcastle, and before that, of course, it was the Bournemouth win. They look like a struggling team, don't they, Jack?
Yeah, they only look good against Bournemouth. Liverpool have been struggling this season. Let's be honest, they're not that top 6 side, are they? What they should be. They should be right up there at the minute, but they're not. Things aren't going great. Klopp will blame it on the injuries and all that, but you've got the players good enough to compete for Champions League football, and things ain't happening. People even predicting Arsenal was going to beat Liverpool last weekend, and Arsenal did exactly that, and that puts Klopp under more pressure, and Dietmar Hamann came out and annoyed Klopp a bit. So
yes,
I guess that says it all. But yeah, Liverpool are really struggling, Chris. They're playing against a real top side now in Manchester City, who's got a striker who's 7-7 in the Premier League, who scored 15 league goals already in 9 games for Manchester City. And that's Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world at this minute in time. And he's going to want to come and create a nightmare for Liverpool at Anfield. So I'm going to go 3-0 Man City.
3-0 Man City. It's a draw's no good for either of them, is it?
No.
I suppose a draw won't bother Man City too much. You'd imagine they're not going to lose probably any games this season the way they're going, but they're not going to drop too many points. They're definitely going to be still the favourites right to the end of the season. I think if anything, it benefits Man City more than Liverpool, because the draw keeps them no worse off than what they were, and if they win it, then it's more than over for Liverpool, even if it isn't already. I kind of want Haaland to not score just so we can keep hold of Vardy's record, but I can see that getting broke this season by him at some point. I think Liverpool might cause a little bit of a stir and get Man City fans a little bit panicky. I'm going to go 4-1 Man City, but Liverpool will take the lead. That's where my little shot comes into it. 4-1 Man
City. Okay. Keith, don't know who you support, but he says you talk so much waffle. Maybe we do, but to be honest with you, Keith, you're the one that's come in to watch it. and listen to it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to IQs, maybe yours is a bit on the old minus side. Right, yeah, I've got to go. I'm sorry, Doug, but I've got to go with a City win. I think it's going to be tight, though. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Man City. Sorry, Doug. Don't mean to upset you. And Keith hasn't answered my question. I did say, well, who do you support then? He's kept it very quiet, so I don't even know which team he supports. So another keyboard warrior, I think, there. So let's have a look. And do you know him, Jack?
Me? Yeah, he
Yeah.
comments on quite a bit of my stuff on YouTube. I don't
Is he
know.
a
I don't
Leicester
know.
fan?
I don't know who he actually is though.
Oh.
I've just seen the name.
He's obviously let out from the nursing home occasionally, and he gets onto YouTube.
It's been somewhere.
4-0 Manchester City, says Andrew. Man City to win 3-0. So that's the end of this weekend's games, which are very easy to predict. So what we're going to do now is, Chris, after the Leeds game, the Arsenal versus Man City has been postponed. I don't know why. Thought I'd let you know. Does anybody know about that?
No, it's the first I've heard of it.
What's that? Sorry.
Arsenal Man City game?
It's been postponed.
No, not sure.
No. I know our game against Fulham, because it clashes with the King getting crowned.
That might be a Monday night football then, Chris, probably, or a Sunday.
Yeah, probably. Highfields Fox, a sausage roll short of a buffet. I think he is. You've got to love people that come in and say you're talking shit, but then doesn't put any argument back, and
it's football.
When you look for the missing link, we obviously now know where it is. Right. Yep. So just before we go on to the next week, we'll run through very quickly the next set, because literally, we've done all the sort of how they're doing so far. I just want to remind you that Brendan Rodgers' new book is out at the end of the season. Don't forget it. We have got an early view of the cover, and there it is.
Comes with a notepad and pen.
Yes, Coaching Soccer for Dummies by Brendan
and
Rodgers.
the colouring book section. Brendan.
There is a version, like I say, which is in notebook form, which you can take onto the boring games. But right, here we go. So let's just get rid of that. And we will bring this back up. And let's just quickly run through these. Brighton, Nottingham Forest. Jack.
3-0 Brighton.
3-0 Brighton. Brad.
5-0 Brighton.
Chris Giga 7.
Go on, Chris. Go on, Chris. Go on. Do it. Go on.
10-0 Brighton.
No, this is where he goes 1-1.
Come on, I will never go for anything other than a loss. 4-0 for me. Just because you went 3-5, I thought I'd go down the middle. Palace Wolves. Jack.
2-0 Palace.
2-0 to Palace. Brad.
2-0 Palace as well.
Chris can go 3-0.
You have little faith. I've got in my mind what I'm going to go before you lot say. So I'm agreeing 2-0. Bournemouth, Southampton, South Coast Derby. These, by the way, these games are all on Tuesday, which is why we're not doing a show on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, courtesy of Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch these on your That's the one thing that Brad's got. Bournemouth, Southampton, Jack.
2-1 Bournemouth.
2-1 to Bournemouth. Oops. Brad.
Desmond, 2-2.
Oh. I think on the form that they are currently playing, and it's at Bournemouth, I'm going to go 2-0 to Bournemouth.
I just think Ralph will be sacked by then, and it'll give them something to go for and play for Southampton. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brentford, Chelsea.
Chelsea 4, Brentford 1.
1-4. Brad.
Brentford 0, Chelsea 3.
Oops, 0. I was writing my score in then. So what did you go? 0-3?
Yeah.
0-3. I'm trying to read the comments at the same time, and I'm going 1-3 to Chelsea. Liverpool, West Ham United now.
If Liverpool gets a tonking at Anfield at the weekend, then I think West Ham can do them 2-1.
2-1. Okay. That would be a shock. Brad?
This is tough one to predict. 3-3.
Oof. I'm actually going to go for a Liverpool win here because I think Klopp will have had enough by then and be screaming at them. Newcastle Everton, it's at Geordie Land.
3-2 Newcastle.
3-2. Brad?
4-0 Newcastle.
Even with Lampard in charge?
Especially with Lampard in charge. In fact, if he's still in charge, he can double it for me. I'm joking. Keep me at 4. Keep me at 4.
I am going to go 3-1 Newcastle.
What did I say? I had it up ready. He's going to go at least 3.
I could have gone 5.
Well, yeah, true.
Man United, Tottenham Hotspur.
Man United 2-0.
Man United 2-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ronaldo double.
Whoa. Brad. Oh, no, I can't do that, can I? I've got to go.
Oh.
I've got
You
to
nearly
go.
got away with that, Jack. You nearly got that in there.
And for some reason, Arsenal aren't playing midweek on this either.
Yeah. Probably train strikes or something. I don't know.
Probably food poisoning. Oh, no.
Probably scared of Man City in Ireland.
Yeah. What is it? Manchester, Tottenham.
United, Tottenham.
Oh, this is difficult. Desmond again. Sod it. Desmond 2-2.
2-1 to Tottenham for me. Fulham Villa. I'll put my score in there first, just so you know what I'm going for.
What are you going for?
I've gone for 0-0.
Oh, he's copying me without even having it.
2-1 Fulham.
2-1 to Fulham. How can I copy you? How can I copy you when you've not even said it?
I know. I was sat here dramatically snoring away because that's exactly where I was going, Chris. It's going to be 4 draws, 0-0.
0-0. I thought I would do that, then you couldn't accuse.
The one time you offered to go first, you're already inside my mind taking your scores.
Leicester Leeds. I guess it depends who might be in charge, Jack.
Yeah. If Rodgers is sat by then, I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester. But if you're still in charge, I'm going to go 2-2.
Well, we don't know that outcome, so which one?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what, we'll go 2-0 Leicester.
2-0 Leicester. Brad?
I fucking hate Leeds' manager. So 5-0 Leicester.
If that happens, I'm going to get on a train up to Manchester and come and buy you a pint, Brad.
I'll find the most expensive pub I can.
Lily and Alice is going to score a screamer.
It won't be me with the UB40, mate.
Paul Nichol's going to grab an hat-trick. It's all right.
Kevin Phillips will score.
So, yeah, 2-1 for me to Leicester. We've got to win the odd game here and there. So, for some reason, Arsenal, like I say, aren't playing next week. Maybe they get camera shy. I don't know. But also, that match is off. I've just had it through from Anthony here. Arsenal Man City has been. Oh, is that the midweek one?
Must be why they're not playing in my message.
Yeah, they must be in. I can see why they're not playing because Arsenal are
Europa League.
They're playing Bodo Glimt.
Right.
So they are next week, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, I know what happened. Arteta's got a principal note to the principal off his mum saying, please do not allow my son to play because he cannot suffer a 7-0 beating.
I'm not sure. I think it could be the fact that the dates clash because they are midweek. But as you can see, I get what you're on about now, Anthony. And yeah, I've got the gap there already. There we go. Quick question. Thank you very much, Jack and Brad. A very, very quick question for you. I need to update this because it isn't updated yet. But can we catch Derby's lowest ever points? There's an extra point to go on for Forest. Oops.
I mean, I'm very hopeful that we'll catch their goal tally. The points tally. The points tally is looking a bit questionable at the moment. Surely we're gonna. I mean, surely he's not gonna let this run and keep running in charge so he keeps going badly. Surely we're not going to do a derby and get less than that.
Finish 10 points.
I just hope you are right. I really am, mate. Jack, you stood in at the last minute. I appreciate that, mate. Your links are in the chat below, but just tell people where they can find you.
You can find me at the Final Whistle on Twitter and YouTube. We do match day vlogs. We do the Premier League predictions. We do match previews, match reviews. If you want to watch a match, we have the Leicester getting beat. Feel free to come on the channel and have a watch. We do the FIFA game streamings here and there. So if you're into FIFA, come and play me on a game and we'll get it live. And you might even beat me, so who knows? So yeah, go and check me out at the Final Whistle Leicester City content.
I might do that just to see Leicester win.
Career mode.
Thank you. Thanks very much, mate. Take care. All the best. Cheers. Thanks to Jack there for coming on at the last minute. Brad, you're going to be away from me for 58 minutes. How will you manage?
I will cope somehow, mate. But if you're wondering why Chris will be joining me in less than 58 minutes' time, if you follow me on Twitter at Full Time Focus, you can click the YouTube channel there. It's Top 10 Battles if you want to search it in the YouTube search bar. We'll be doing bringing our best A-game teams, and you guys can join in that. It's Top 10 Superheroes. So again, it's YouTube, Top 10 Battles. You'll find us there. If you want to follow me so you don't miss it when we go live, my Twitter handle is at Full Time Focus. So yeah, hopefully I can win something today. Who knows?
And the link in the chat below will still take them there, will they?
Yes, it should do, mate. That's yeah.
I won't keep you because you've obviously got to go and prepare for that. So thank you very much. We got through that probably quicker than when we've done just in 1 week. So
I know it's strange, isn't it? Well, we've got two. I think the thing is, though, when you've got back-to-back predictions like that, like you say, we go through all the facts and the results. So you get to the next one. There's no point talking about it again. We all know we hate half the teams in the league, so we know where we're going. It's weird.
Yeah. They don't hear me say, well, Nottingham Forest have only won one. We've done it. We've done it. Yeah. Hey, I will see you at 9 o'clock. Take care, buddy.
I'll see you there. Take care, mate.
Cheers. Thank you. Oops, I can't get rid of Brad. There we go. There refuses to go. Now he's gone. Join us over in Top 10 Battles. That's Brad's channel. Get over there, give him a subscribe, and give us a watch. Top 10 Superheroes. Ooh. Do you remember Wonder Woman back in the, was it the 80s? Guys, thank you very much. I'll leave it at that. You can catch me tomorrow on the Eagle-Eyed Football channel at 7:30 doing the Palace Leicester review, and then they'll be on mine at 9 o'clock along with Craig doing the match preview again. And then we've obviously got the chat at 9 o'clock, the question time on Friday at 9 o'clock. Thanks so much, guys. Sorry I've not been with it totally today. I've been in bed for 3 days, like I said at the start. I will see you at 9 o'clock, and it'd be nice to let somebody else do all the stuff, and then I will just I can just sit back and relax. Thanks so much for watching, and if you've been listening on the podcast, thank you very much for lending me your ears. You can now have them back. Stay safe, guys. Good night.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV.